Mate, what's going on? Welcome.
Man, it's good to be here.
Mate, it's third time. This is the third time I'm in potty. And I was thinking this morning.
Is it third time?
Third time, man.
Wow.
You're the first person that's hit number 3.
Over like 7 years.
Yeah, I think I launched this in 2019, so I'm pretty sure I had you on. You were like second. I think you were my second guest.
Really?
Second or third guest. That was 2019. It's 2026.
Wow.
7 years ago.
Wow.
And then I think you would have jumped on maybe 4 years in.
Uh-huh.
And now we're at 7 years.
Yeah. And 2 years since we've caught up in person, so there's a lot to catch up on.
Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks.
What's been happening in your life since I last saw you? Because I'm seeing you on social media and you're seeing me as well, so you get a bit of a glimpse into what's happening. What would you say has been going on?
Man, what hasn't been going on? I think what happened, like I got divorced. I met my soulmate. We got married.
Devoed. I got devoed as well.
Yeah.
Divorced. we both did, yeah.
Found my soulmate, got remarried. I have a 2-year-old daughter right now, and she's melted my heart.
Really? Oh.
I love my son, but she's melted my heart.
Yeah,
so that's been the best thing in the world. Arch is nearly 7. He's in year 1 at school.
Oh, man.
God kind of told me to get rid of my business, and I practically gave it away. Seeking purpose, what's going on in the world. Yeah, just have really deepened my relationship with God. Gym Church has birthed a little over a year ago, and really seeing some massive expansion at the beginning of this year, and we're about to take some massive next steps with that in the next 6 to 12 months. It's been a whirlwind, man. Whoever I was 2 years ago, I'm not that person right now. That Owen Hone is dead, and I'm a new creation for real.
Man, you were like 2 years ago. I think you were just about to get married. Is that right? To your girl now.
Yep.
And interesting that you said the Owen 2 years ago. Owen 2 years ago is like dead. I mean, I'm the same, man. But even if you saw me in 3 months, you get a different look. Mm-hmm. Like there's fundamentals that we're the same. Mm. But, when someone's on a path of growth, then I always say to people, I'm like, man, if you see me in a month, 3 months, the shit I'm saying now, I might be saying different stuff.
In a day, man. If I record a video and I post it, by the time I've posted man, that's not. I've got a different view now. I've upgraded.
True. It's a kind of like like people say, oh, but you said that, and I'm like, I've got I'm like, man, I've changed my mind. It's all good to change your mind. Some people think that if you say something, you're locked in it for life, and you're hooked to that thing. It's like, man, that was just a version of me I'm different now.
Yeah.
So you've had, what's your daughter's name again?
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie
Grace.
I've got a boy as well. He's just turned 4.
Yeah, he's a couple of years young.
Man, I really want a girl. Like I've always wanted a boy, and I was kind of like, when you have your first kid and you're like, are you hoping it's a girl? You're hoping it's a boy? Me, I was like, I'm hoping it's a boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you just like, did you care or?
I can't remember with Archer, no. But then this second time around, I was definitely really hoping I had a girl. I guess I had Archer already.
What's the differences between having a boy and a girl?
It's just changed my heart. It's just like something about it. Like I there's a sense of knowing that Archer's going to be strong and he's going to be okay. But then Mackenzie's just like there's just a joy in her and just a pureness of spirit. It's hard to explain, and just such a. I always you see those people that are like the dads that are, I'm going to rock up with a shotgun if your boyfriend ever comes over. Like, whatever, man. Now I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Mackenzie's going to be in jiu-jitsu by age 3, and she's going to be a weapon, and nobody's ever going to mess with her. Yeah. There's a whole new level of protect and provide, I feel like, when you have a little girl.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting that you said that, because I've always kind of said that exact example where you got man, those fucking dads with the daughters, man. You just but then you end up becoming that. Kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Is it because they're just so vulnerable compared to a guy? Like, what is it?
Yeah, and just vulnerable and innocent.
Yeah.
It's like we grow up as adults and we end up experiencing our childhood and environment and life kind of you know, sometimes it can beat you down and you go through hard times and as an adult, you're not who you were when you're a little kid, but when you see a little kid, they're so innocent, they're so pure, they know nothing but love and joy, and the world hasn't impacted them yet. And it's like, I see that there's just such a responsibility to take care of and build up and just, it's hard to explain. But it's the same also, I'm sure, with Louis as well. It's just that,
I probably want. Do you want more kids? I'm wanting like 2 or 3 more kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said to Jenna the other day, I'm like, we could have 6.
There you go.
She's like, what? We haven't spoken
Did
about
you
that.
go 6?
Nah, I don't know. It goes in waves, man.
As in, like, I'll have more.
No, I think realistically we'll probably have definitely 3. We're trying for, my third, but it'll be Jenna and I's second. So I reckon 3 or 4 will be the number.
There you go. Yeah, it'd be.
But who knows?
Obviously, super tough in the moment. You know, bringing so many kids up. I think future wise, because like with me,
man.
I don't know about you, man, but I've got this thing that I'm living to 130. Yeah, and I'm like, what am I going to do with my life if I don't have kids? It's kind of like they're the thing that's going to make my life worth living when I'm that old. You know, so if I have like say 1 kid, then you know, there's not really everything's on Louis. If I've got a bunch of them, then I've got more, you know, different personalities, more interests. They'll have more kids. Like my mum's got, she's got 10 grandchildren.
Wow.
So much to do. And it's like she's 75 now, and she's just like, her life's exciting because she's got all these grandchildren. She's got us. And she's in a really good spot with her life. My dad passed 3 years ago, but she's found a new love, and her life is like thriving now. Yeah, she's probably in the best spot that I've ever seen her in. Yeah.
Wow.
But I think a lot of grandparents say the same thing. It's like the joys of their life become the grandchildren at that time. So that's like a typical 70, 80-year-old. If I'm going to 130, man, I need a few fucking kids.
Yeah, few
just to get me
grandkids
through.
That'll fuel you up,
Just to fill me up, because like I love my work, but there's work and then there's family, and it's different. It's a different love. So I want both. But who knows? I might get sick of doing all my stuff when I'm 80 and I'm tired and I just want to chill out with family. Like who knows who I'll be? In that long. What about you, man? Have you thought about living, how long you're going to live for? And is that stuff on your mind, or it's not a thing?
Nah, not how long will I live for, but definitely just looking into the future at the moment with the way the world's going and the transformation that's taken place with AI and technology. Like the world we live in today is not going to be the world we're going to live in 5 years, let alone 20, 30, 40 years. Yeah. So definitely thinking a lot about that and the way the world is going, both spiritually, but also just like to your point, when you're 130, like, you seen Terminator? We could just be at war with all these robots, man. There's every chance that we're going to be fighting a war for our survival. Like,
is that what you're thinking?
Well, who knows? But it's a possibility. I think the wildest thing right now is like there's always been change and transformation. It's just the speed of transformation now has been accelerated so much. So in the past, you could be like, okay, the world's going in this direction, even when the internet come, right? And you could ignore it because the change was reasonably slow. But today, if you ignore it, like businesses, employees, it's going to get wiped out. You're going to be left behind. All of a sudden, what people had their identity in, which is for most people their work, all of a sudden there's going to be no need for you. Like every white collar worker is going to be gone in a number of years. So all of a sudden it's like, who am I? Yep. What am I here for? What's the point? And so all these questions start to come up, and we're in a completely different world than we were. Which, again, like spiritually, it's like then there's those questions. I see like two pathways. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. It's either you're going to question your purpose and either like come closer to God and come closer to love and light, or people are going to spiral out and go closer, like further down into darkness. You know, lying, stealing, being a degenerate, drugs, like whatever they're going to do to try and cope with what's happening with the world.
Sure.
And it's going to be a faster and a greater divide.
Right. And then what do you think for you personally? and kind of, you know, the field that you're in, are you like, I'm in a good spot? For example, you know, there's the old accountants are fucked. I don't know, coders and all that. There's certain jobs where it's like, you're fucking gone. You doing what you do, are you like, I'm in a good spot with how the world's changing, most likely where it's going to head? Or are you kind of like a little bit, shit, man, am I even safe?
I think everyone has to have a healthy respect for where things are going. I think what I'm trying to do right now is to figure out how to best use AI and technology as we're moving into that space. Because I think the value is not necessarily in AI at the moment. It's like, can you think about how to use it effectively to build systems and to build things out to serve people? So there's going to be a huge advantage to us entrepreneurs or people that can think creatively and not task-based. If you're just in a, you know, for most employees that are consumerism and just, I need, like, the government and my employees going to make sure that I'm okay. Like, you're screwed. If you can't think of how can I create and what problems are there out there and then use AI and technology to solve it, I think you're screwed. So from that perspective, I feel really empowered because my mind is very, like, I can see where things are going and my mind thinks in systems. So I'm putting a lot of time into developing those skills. And then I think the one thing that AI can't take away, which I think is going to have more increased demand than ever, is community and connection and relationship.
Sure, yeah.
So like gym church, like I think that's one of the reasons why it's starting to take off. Like we have been in the online space now for a decade and that was so cool and that's where things are going. And now we're so cooked by the online world that we're seeking this and seeking community and brotherhood and family and relationship, and that's going to only skyrocket as we move forward. So I felt well positioned in that space, but there's so many unknowns. Just trying to build as a good a foundation as I can, but then who knows? How about you? Like, how have you been thinking much about where we're moving?
Look, the two main things I do are coaching and acting, and my acting has become my main income. That's really taken off.
I saw that.
I think about do you follow Adam Sullivan?
Yep.
Yeah. Have you seen his little AI videos?
No.
He's making he's made a couple, and I think the last one possibly someone made for him. I think he said that, hey, whoever makes me the best. So he basically made this corny AI video of like him driving his Porsche, and it's like something like driving through a war zone, and then, you know, there's all people shooting at him, and then he goes into like a tent where he's like meeting with colonels, and then basically they talk about those little gummies that he sells, creatine. So just like purposely corny, right? But just it's just funny. Yeah, he's using an AI thing, and it's an entertaining way of just creating content. And then I think he said, I'm pretty sure he said something like, hey, if anyone creates me the next part 2 of this, whoever creates me the best one, I'm going to give him $1,000 or whatever it was. I think, pretty sure. I just saw the second one yesterday. It was fucking way better. And like certain scenes, and obviously me be kind of in that acting field. I looked at one of the scenes and I'm like, that looks like, a lot of the scenes were like, okay, that's fake, it's clearly fake. But there was one scene where there's these I think it was maybe in a jail, and there was these 4 inmates lined up, and just how they reacted, and just me knowing how much goes into creating a scene like that.
It was good.
Like, it looks good.
Yeah.
And like, as in that to create a scene like that to that level would have cost probably $100,000.
Really?
Yeah, man. They probably would have had 50 crew.
And it's been AI.
Taken a whole day to do.
Wow.
And all the equipment, all the stuff you're paying for the actors and stuff like that. And then this little scene probably just would have been maybe an hour of scripting. So I look at things like that, and I personally think that especially commercials, they're going to make AI movies, I don't think, and I think it's with most things, if you're at the top, you're safe. Because when it comes to acting, it's emotion, and AI just can't pull that out. The tiny nuances of real emotion, human emotion, you're just not going to get from AI, right? So I think that if you're at the top of the top, you're all good. But say when it comes to commercials, there's, I did a Toyota shoot 2 weeks ago, and I did a Volkswagen the other day. These companies have just got so much money. You walk on set and there's 40, 50 people on set. There's a banquet of food. So you go there and they're like, Luke, what would you like for food? Get all your orders given to you. Yeah, wow. You're being paid for 10 hours, but you're shooting for 1-2 hours. So all the rest is hanging around, scrolling, chatting, fucking doing work, napping, sleeping. We went for lunch.
You napped while you were there?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
You do, man. You do. Yeah,
it's so good.
You're napping. You're getting paid for 10 hours. And this is what it's saying. We go for lunch. We went to a winery. We had a 2-hour winery lunch, Yeah,
wow.
That's how much money they just have to spend. Now, then the other side of it is small companies. Yeah. And let's just say I was creating my first ad. Now, I'm not going to have $100,000 or $200,000 like Toyota does to make a bloody little couple of shots. I'm going to be like, man, I've only got $1,000 or I've only got $5,000 or something like that, yeah? So when it comes to those people, for what they get for $5,000, you're going to get probably 1 or 2 actors at most, shitty ones. You're going to get 1 person on the camera, and that's about it.
It's a big gap.
It's tiny, yeah? Those people there are going to go to AI, for sure. So small businesses, 100%, and they're already. I've actually lost a job a couple of weeks ago. I was booked in for a job, and then the director at the last minute goes, "Hey, man, the clients just changed their mind. They're actually going to do AI."
Really? So you've already seen
that was
the
first one.
That was
the first one. Yeah. So I think the smallies, they're going to shift onto AI for sure, just because it's you get, as opposed to paying. Look, if you're a small thing and you want to do a general commercial, it's like starting price at $10K generally. Super cheap's $5,000. But if you're just starting out, you don't have a whole lot of money, and you can do AI for $500 or maybe $100. Yeah. Maybe it goes down to $50, a little subscription.
Yep.
That's what you're going to need to do. Easy.
Yep.
The problem is at the moment is, for me personally, I don't know how you feel, but if I see an AI ad, I basically scroll off. Unless they've got a really good hook, I would say 9 times out of 10 I see AI, I'm like, fuck this, I'm going.
Yeah.
How do you go with it?
Yeah, I heard Gary Vee speaking about that. I think it was Gary Vee speaking about that the other day, and because of all the AI, like our ability to trust, or our trust is just at an all-time low. So we're just always like, is this real, and trying to seek if it's human or if it's AI. And so, it's to your point, it's like, I think you mentioned that it's going to require, we're going to trust people that we either know in person, or we've either experienced at some type of workshop or event, that they're real. And those that are going to have the most trust currency in the economy are going to be those that you've connected with in community or in person, because you know who they are. Yeah, sure. So that dynamic, absolutely. Yeah. Versus I'm the same. As soon as I even think that it's AI, it's not real, boom, and I just move on. And I even just I'm consuming way less than I did, I feel, because of that disconnect. So it's interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah. Yeah. Do you know the AI videos that shit me the most is animals. Like have you seen the animal fucking AI videos? Like, as in the African stuff, yeah? Because every now and then I watch the African. Like the animals eating each other and shit. Yeah, I saw a kid get ripped off by a crocodile, and just there's some loose stuff. Yeah, I haven't seen to that extent, man. But it's just like all of a sudden, there's these like African. It'll be like lions get eaten by crocodiles, and then there's all these people believing it's real, and I'm just like, one of the ones I commented, which it's kind of like, why are you commenting on this shit? But I'm like, guys, isn't it funny that all of a sudden, that there's all these new sightings of these animals punching on with other animals, which never seen before. Yeah. Lions getting eaten by crocodiles. Never happened before. Now all of a sudden, guys, it ain't real. Yeah, and then these dudes going, it is real, man. And I'm like, I'll leave it at that. And punch on these guys. But that's kind of shit me, because I did like a lot of years of, I love animals. I've been to Africa, done the safari and stuff like that. And the getting footage that no one else has ever got before is the absolute key. And when you'd see a video, I remember there was this
I don't know if you ever saw it, but there's this video which is super famous. Maybe it's 10 years old now, and it was called like the battle on Kruger or something like that. And it was this massive, what was it? It was like when there was like the migration, so all the buffaloes, there's thousands of buffaloes crossing the river, and what's going on is that these thousands of buffaloes crossing the river and wildebeest, there's all these crocs in the river, and there's all these lions. So you got all these wildebeest and buffaloes running down the hills to cross the river.
And that's legit.
Going for the run, yeah, because they got to cross the other side. Yeah. And there's all crocodiles grabbing them, and then there's a pride of lions, and it was this super famous video that someone caught.
And it was real.
It was real.
Yeah,
this is 10 years ago. And that thing just was like if you're into that stuff,
yeah,
it was the most famous video because it was like never been cited to something. It was just full on like a movie, so much going on, and it was like you're wanting these animals to get across safely and get past the crocodiles, and then the babies are getting eaten, and then if they get past the crocs, then they got to get past the pride of lions. It was full on.
Now
but
you see
now,
that, you immediately question that it's fake.
100%, yeah, because they've like taken it to a new level where there's all these things and sightings that have never been captured previously. With all the people out there that have spent their life dedicated to capturing being out in Africa and the safari and whatever it is, and now all of a sudden these really unique sightings are being caught
everywhere.
And I'm like, fuck you, AI, for that. So that's probably the only real main thing that shit me about AI. All the other stuff, I'm like, yeah. But anyway, that's what I think with commercials. I think the lower budget ones are going to go. They've already started to go. I think medium budgets are going to start looking at it. But the last ones to go will be the high budgets, the Toyotas and all that stuff. Saying that, what I think they will do is they'll partially AI their stuff. Yeah, they'll just put, there might be 10 scenes, and they're like, oh, I can actually AI 3 scenes here, save 150K.
Yeah, and the editing and the putting it all together behind the scenes will be run by that as well. Yeah.
So I there's a little bit of fear there, but then there's also talking about the God thing, there's also just the trust that everything's going to be okay. And, it's almost like use it as a leverage to step the fuck up. I completely agree with the community thing. Man, you and I have been doing online for so long. How cool was it when it first started? Yeah. I'm exhausted with it now, man. So sick of getting on a computer and speaking to a client on a computer. The in-person stuff, and that's one of the main reasons why I started in-person podcasts. Mate, the dynamic I've found since I've done in-person interviews, they have gone from here doing online to fucking up here.
Remember initially, like, let's do a potty. I'm like, well, let's catch up in person. It's so much better.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because I think because we've been trying to organise this for like a year, and I think initially I was like, let's do an interview, but it was online, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But then that was when I was like, I'm going to buy the gear. So, good. All right, so I want to get to Gym Church and tell me what you're doing there. But before we do that, I want to talk about your journey, because you've just fucking completely changed. Like I said, you were 2 years ago you were smashing God, but not to the level that you are right now. I'm just like, I want to hear your journey on how because you're an atheist, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so was I, man.
Hard
atheist. And now it's like Jesus is your life. So, mate, tell me how the fuck this happened. And I must say, man, your eyes are different. Your eyes are different, man. So it's interesting how much it clearly had an impact on you.
Yeah.
So tell me.
I don't even know where to start, man. I think firstly, what happened was my biggest goal was to build $1 million coaching business, and I did that. And then after that, it was so cliche, but I was just totally unfulfilled. I was like, what's the point? And I went through a massive season of like seeking and searching. I did a massive month in business, and it was like, if we hit this target, you got to get a tattoo. So I got Thor's hammer.
Oh, bullshit. There you go. Show us.
And it's got an A there for Archer. And I guess technically it's kind of get an M. Yeah. And I'm watching The Last Kingdom on Netflix, Kings, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I remember you doing the King stuff.
Yeah, real obsessed with that. And I didn't realize what I was searching for, but I went over to the US to see Yaya, one of my mentors, who was getting baptized, to surprise him. And I went there, and I ended up being surrounded by these really successful men and women like Steve Weatherford, ex-Super Bowl champion, and these famous, strong, successful men and women that had everything that I thought that I wanted. But that's not what stood out to me. Is they were just had this love that was just being manifested out of them. And it's hard to explain. Like, you look at someone like Steve, and he's the kind of guy that is probably the most masculine, powerful man you'll ever meet. Like, he opens his mouth and command, like he walks in and the atmosphere shifts because of his strength and who he is as a man. But the way he loved people, and I remember being around this table, and he was handing his Super Bowl ring around, and everyone was taking selfies and looking at it. And he's like, I used to walk into a room like this, guys, and I used to just try and be the biggest and best person in the room. I'm trying to posture in position and try and compete with everybody to be the best. He's like, since finding Jesus, I now walk into a room like this seeking not to compete with, but seeking to complete other people, to empower and encourage and uplift. And that just hit me. And so Jenna and I were there over a couple of days, and I had an example of what it really meant to be a man that I'd never had in my life, bro. You know?
Yep.
We think of who we have to be as a man is successful and make money, rip through girls like they don't matter, be tough and strong and all that stuff. And that's who I'd been trying to be because of, you know, who we think we have to be a man. And I finally had this example of what it really means to be a man. And I didn't know what it meant, but Jenna and I both gave our lives to Jesus on that yacht. And it changed everything. And I went away and I caught up with mates like, man, you're changed. Something's different. But then I wrestled with it massively because I'd never read the Bible. I'm like, does it have to be Jesus? Can't I just like have a relationship with God? And I'm super rebellious. So I wrestled with it for about 18 months. I was still watching porn behind Jenna's back. I was still going out and snorting coke. I was still lying, cheating, but, you know, being very selfish and self-centered. What I didn't realize is how much we make life about ourselves. And even in business, everything was about me and how many people that I hurt through that period of time when I was chasing the ladder of success. And just bad stuff kept happening, man, until the point where like I really, really hit rock bottom. And I'm like, I'm going to either keep going down this path and my son is going to become who I am.
Yeah. Well, sorry, was this happening after that yacht experience?
Yeah.
So it was after.
Yeah.
Done the Jesus thing.
Yep.
And then still doing it.
Yep. And then still doing it. Probably using God as a marketing message. I thought that now I've given my life to Jesus, business is going to take off and he's going to bless me. And yeah, I just remember having this huge epiphany that my dad and his dad would drink and take drugs, and it was normal. Like dad and his dad used to drive trucks, and that was just normal. And infidelity and these different things. And I realized I was just the same. Yeah. I had the same generational patterns.
Yep.
And I had this I'm like, man, if the chains we don't break get placed on our sons and daughters.
For sure. Yeah.
And it just really hit me, man, because I'm like, if I don't decide and actually choose the man that I want to be, I'm just going to continue to repeat these patterns over and over again. And like I drew a line on the sand, and I'm like, I'm going to really go all in on my relationship with God. And not, because it says in the Bible, don't just be hearers of the word, but be doers of the word. And so I really made a decision to go all in and start living it. And that's when everything started to really turn around from there. And man, I don't even know where else to start, but that was like the turning point for the real transformation that started to take place.
When was that point? How long was that from the boat?
About 18 months.
Yeah, shit. So it was a bit of time.
Yeah. Or at least a year. Yeah.
And then when you had the, excuse me with my communication and my articulation, because I just don't fucking fully understand it, the Jesus transformation. What do you call it?
I don't know.
On the boat? You gave yourself to Jesus?
Yeah, like you gave your life to Jesus, you're saved, whatever.
When you're doing that, were you like, what am I doing? Or did you feel like this is right? Was it a bit like, did it feel fully right?
It was super scary, man. It was really scary. It was super awkward. Yeah. You know, I had guys praying over me and I didn't know anything. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what was going on. Yeah. I just knew that I needed.
Was Jenna there with you when that was all going on?
Yeah.
And how did she feel about it?
Yeah, totally cooked. It was like a Tony Robbins event, but for God.
Yeah,
there were
gotcha.
people praying over people, crying, falling on the ground, and she's sitting over there looking at me like, "What do you got me into?" But same, like Steve prayed over her, and Jenna doesn't often get really emotional. She's bawling her eyes out just because of the love, man.
There you go.
And it touched her, and there were so many things. We were meant to leave, and our flight got cancelled. And Jenna's like, "Man, we're in Miami. Can't we actually just go have fun?" She's like, "Okay." I said, "Okay, we'll go down the street for a bit." She said to me, "I think this is just for you, not for me." Mm-hmm. And I said, well, "Let's go down the street." We went down the street. We got out of the car. There was road work, so we had to cross the road. And all of a sudden, there's a guy in a wheelchair, and he says, "Hey, you, man with hardest worker in the room," gave Jenna a compliment and handed her this note. And it's $100 million bill. Turns it over, and she reads out, "Are you ready to give your life to Jesus?"
Oh, really?
And she's like, "No.
Oh, wow.
What's going on here?"
Yeah,
and so many stuff like that. And it was just,
Sure.
God was speaking to us massively through that period. And yeah,
There you go.
this is history.
Okay, so it's 18 months after the initial yacht boat. What was going on
The
there?
yacht experience, yeah.
So 18 months, and then, so from then, tell me how your life has been. And was it like 18 months, this is it? Or was there a little bit of hangover in regards to you still kind of battling with your habits or whatever it was? And also, does it mean, like, for example, you spoke about snorting coke. Does it mean you can't have a line now?
I don't.
Yeah,
It's
so
gone. The desire's gone. I haven't watched porn. I haven't taken drugs. I haven't drank in. I can't remember the last time I did. And
So you don't drink?
Zero desire.
So
I don't drink. It's not to say I haven't had a wine in the last, maybe a wine in the last 6 months, but I haven't drank this year.
Sure.
And there's no desire to.
Let's just say that a line found your way into your life. If you had it, is it like, fucking that's bad? Or is it depending on
I
why you have it?
I just wouldn't have it, man.
Yeah, you just don't feel the need.
Not only do I not feel the need, it's just, I used to take that because that would make me feel more significant and confident in myself, and also create connection with other people. All these things that I needed outside of myself, which I now have within myself with my relationship with God.
Sure.
So I don't need to go out to get what I have already inside.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so tell me about how your life has changed, man, since that 18-month period.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing was like I remember I was arguing with a mate at the gym about the Bible. I'm like, man, if God wants me to actually read this thing, why doesn't He make it so I can freaking understand it? Like, it's just doesn't make sense. Blah blah blah. And I remember
because it's the way it's written. And
way
it's
it's written, all different things. I'm just like, this is so annoying. Like, God's supposed to be blah blah blah. You have no idea how much I resisted all of the stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that frustration is a curse. It's a gift. Because it causes us to seek, search, and solve. Because when we solve, then we have something to serve other people with. So I realize, and I'd encourage that with you and anyone listening, if you're wrestling with God or wrestling with anything, it's not a bad thing. Because if you seek truth, you will eventually find the answer. But I remember I was walking down the street just a couple of kilometres away down Port Melbourne. I remember thinking to myself, what if I just like pretended that the Bible was true? Like what it said in there was true and it was real. And from that moment forward, I just chose to believe what was in there was true. And that was really the turning point. And like it just, the best metaphor for it, man, is like, and it's taken me a while to wrap my head around this. Everything in my life up until this point, whether it be business, family, everything else, has been created by force. It's like you have a sculpture and you've got a hammer and a chisel and you're smashing the shit out of it, trying to reveal what's inside. And it's hard work and you're banging. Versus now, I feel like I'm a flower opening. And it's like when you go away and spend time with God and you pray and you read the Bible, it's like being a tree that's planted in fertile soil. Like, does a tree need to try and grow fruit, or does it just grow fruit? And bad fruit just drops off. And if there's a scar on the tree, or if it's been scratched, it doesn't have to try and heal it, right? It just spends time in the soil. And when it spends time in the soil, in time, that blemish gets healed and bark grows around it. Yeah. And it grows up. That's probably the best way to describe it. Like it has changed my heart as I've spent more time with God and understood what it says about who you are. It's an identity transformation, bro.
Sure, man.
It's an identity you go from, I've made all these mistakes. I'm a piece of shit. I've messed up. To, like I said, new creation before, like it says in the Bible, like our old life is dead and we are a new creation. And so it's like walking in that. And so when I said to you, I'm a new creation, it's not just a word. It's like, I'm not who I was back then. That is done.
Yeah.
Like God cast our sin far away to the east and the west. It's no more.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that makes sense. This is just all things that it's, and when it changes in here, like to your point about the drugs and the alcohol and all those things, when your heart has changed, then all of a sudden, and like when you know, it might say that like God loves you, right? And I might use those words. You might know it, but unless you feel it, nothing changes, right? But if you feel totally and completely loved, then all of a sudden you don't need to achieve success in a business to feel like you're enough to feel love. You don't have to have the perfect relationship. You don't have to have a certain body. You stop seeking outside of yourself that, and then all of a sudden you're full, and from that overflow, then you just create. Like we're talking about creating, right? I believe we were created by a creator in order to create. But you can't create when you're attached to all the things outside of yourself to feel whole.
I like that. What was that? We're created by a creator in order to create. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, with me, man, I believe I'm more of a spiritual person. I guess the religion thing has been always a little bit. Do I trust it? Yeah. So I've never liked. Well, I wouldn't say I would never liked religion, but as I've come into, I went through a tough period, and it's kind of like when you go through a tough period and you're trying to figure it all out, you can't fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
Most people, if you're really actually actively searching what's going on, and you can't figure it out, you go to God, and that's kind of how my journey and experience was bringing God into my life. I have it from a more of a spiritual sense, not as in Jesus, that type of thing. And I relate to, like, for example, I used to think, because you're Christian or Catholic? Christian. And I don't fully understand the differences and all that type of thing, but I used to think people that were Christians, I'm like, fuck, they're weird, man. Like, they go to church and the shit they talk about.
A lot of Christians are weird, bro. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I used to kind of I was just like that. But now I look at it and like a lot of the Christian values are aligned with my values.
Yeah.
So much. So now I don't, people who are religious now, I don't look at them as weird. I respect the dedication for the people that are legit dedicated. I'm kind of like, you do get people that are like, hey, bring Jesus into your life or be a Buddhist or whatever it is. And I'm like, there's something about it. There's a resistance to it of having that identity.
Same.
And it's almost like in life, man, I think it's a control thing where it's like, if the pack's doing that, I like to do the opposite. And I guess when it comes to religion, it's like the pack's doing that. So if I jump in, I'm just following. So I'm going to do my own thing. And I guess with the spiritual thing, I feel like there's not so many rules. Yeah, I just feel kind of open to believe what I want to believe. And what I believe, yes, there's something created this world. I actually kind of, if you think about it, because I'm a truth seeker. Yeah. I just want to seek the truth.
Yep.
And ultimately, I'm recording this right now. Who knows, in a year's time, I might be a fucking hardcore Christian. Yeah. And people are like, Luke, you were bagging at Christians. And I'm just seeking the truth. And whatever I believe in life, I will go down that path. So far, my research I kind of think that, I kind of believe, because I've looked into how we created a decent amount. I haven't gone too much down the religious path, though. I've looked a little bit into how the story of Jesus and everything like that. But at the moment, I'm kind of like, I believe in the simulation theory. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of think that's the fucking thing. We're just in a simulation. But either way, man, it's just like the main thing has shifted from me, which is that something created this. There's more than just this physical life. There is a God. Our life's rigged in our favor. God wants to give you everything that you desire. So if I desire a really loving relationship, because, I think about my divorce with my wife, and, she was like the love of my life, man. we were so bloody good together. We were together 12 years.
Yeah.
We had 9, 10 really amazing years. When our son came along, obviously the stress that goes with that, and there's just a lot of other stresses going on in life. Our relationship broke down, and obviously we're not together now. And I kind of think, why the hell did that all happen? Like, and I just thought about it, and I actually, do you know who David Guillaume is?
No.
So he's, and this is technically not a religion. Have you heard of Kabbalah?
That sounds familiar, but I have no idea what it is.
It's, I wouldn't even know how to describe it. It's like a Jewish spiritual philosophy type thing. I follow that ultimately. Yeah, I've done Kabbalah courses, and my outlook on life follows probably 90% of that. I don't agree with all of it, but 90% of my outlook on life follows their principles. That's just kind of, you know, how it all works, and just what I described there with God. That just feels good for me right now. And one thing that I learned from this, which has changed my life, man, is that it's almost like they say this thing that you've got, God wants to give you everything, but you've got to create the vessel to hold that thing. So for example, if one thing I desire in life is a really amazing, loving, intimate relationship with my partner. And I kind of look at, well, if I desire that, then why did my previous relationship end? And in the breakdown of my relationship with my ex, the darkness that came out of that shined a light on things inside both of us that I wasn't even aware was there, yeah? So I think, you know, looking at this rule, which God wants to give you everything that you desire, that relationship was sent to me to teach me so much, and especially the breakdown of what happened is almost like, Luke, you're really desiring this sort of relationship, but you've got to go through this breakdown and darkness to learn some shit about yourself that you didn't even realize. And then once you learn that, then you're open to having that relationship. Yeah. One thing they talk about is to do with, which I really love, which is reacting to the world. So there's one thing I learned, which is an event happens, and this thing's fucking changed my life, because especially I started learning this with my ex. One of the biggest problems with my ex and I was that she would, I felt underappreciated, right? So she would kind of do something. I would not do something. So I might do 9 things right. The one thing I do wrong, then she has a go at me. And then I would react to it, because we weren't having sex. So my cup was low. I didn't have the love to be able to handle that thing. And I just didn't really know what was going on. So as opposed to comforting her and reassuring her, I reacted. What the fuck? I did this. And then obviously that just happened over and over and over, that little spiral. When I started doing Kabbalah, they taught you this thing, which is when the event happens, you just basically pause. So whatever it is, let's just say my ex says something that triggers me.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yep. I pause, take a breath, and I say, what a gift. And the reason why it's a gift is because every problem, every struggle, every challenge is there as a gift to shine the light on shit you need to change, so you can become the person that gets the things that you want in life. That's kind of the philosophy of it all. Does that make sense?
It does. I got thoughts.
Yeah, hold the thoughts though. Hold the thoughts.
Yeah.
So that there made my reaction to life change. Yeah, I've dropped down my reaction to life 95%. There's not much that can fucking tip me over the edge now. As in, you know what I mean? As in, parking ticket.
Yep.
Get a parking ticket, and then it's kind of like you come back, and if I'm following this rule, I'm like, well, that parking ticket is being given to me to teach me something. So if I react here, I'm ultimately pushing away the thing that I need to get the learning from. So I'm like, pause, what a gift. There might be body charge, my body's charging. And I'm like, what a gift. Why is this in my movie? Why have I been given parking? I'm like, okay, maybe I want to make more money. Maybe God's basically testing to see, can I build the vessel to hold more money? And if he's going to take away $100 and I can handle it and go, fuck yeah, I'm abundant, then he'll give me $1,000. So did I say him then?
I don't know.
I think I did say him. I try not to gender God. So pardon me. So share your bloody thoughts. And saying that, I was speaking to a Christian girl a couple of months ago, and she goes, because I told her all that stuff, she goes, all that stuff has been taken from the story of Jesus. Like all those little, that's all, everything you're following there is influence from Christianity. Mm-hmm. And like,
as in Kabbalah.
Yeah. And I'm like, interesting. Mm-hmm. Maybe it is. And if that's the case, I'm like, maybe the truth is Christianity. Mm. So that was that was the first time I actually started going, ooh, being slightly open to it, because previously I was fully closed off.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I'm at in my journey, but I'm just like really enjoying where I'm at with it. Like, you know, when problems and challenges and shit things happen to me now, I just have that firm belief where I can just go, okay, just relax for a little bit. Like if I believe that God wants to give me everything, and you know, this doesn't feel good right now, but there's a lesson in here. It's in my movie for a reason. That just makes me suffer less. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
My divorce, man, the relationship with my ex is, we're so good together. Yeah. And when we, because she initiated our breakup, and I initially got pissed off because I was kind of like, man, you're giving up on us. Yeah. Like we're actually we were making progress as well. And I go, you're giving up. And I initially, for a day and a half, I ran away and retreated and got pissed off. Yeah. But then I actually, and this is the thing that changed me, man, because I heard that David Guillaume guy do a podcast, and he spoke about his ex. And he's speaking about her in the most amazing way, and how she's the most amazing woman. They had a great phase together. They created their son together, and he loves her. He respects her. And I was like, I'd never heard anyone speak about their ex like that. And I'm like, that just made me go, change. And it's almost like he explained that whole concept, which I just did then. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, well, if this is being given to me, if I desire the most loving relationship, then this is all happening for me to learn a lesson here. Then I've got to be so grateful for Courtney, because she's going to lead me to the girl that I want ultimately. Yeah, so I just went back and I said, I'm going to make this the greatest divorce in the history of divorces. And man, it's just like that decision changed the whole thing. And there was testing moments, and I just stayed strong in my heart when I could have fucking went psycho and blow up. I just stayed strong, and she came around, And if I did that in our relationship, we would have been saved. Does that make sense? Yes. If I had the stay in my heart when she was because she's just scared. If I had that, we would have survived, and we would have been still together. Yeah. But it's not my story. It's not my path, and I'm cool with that. And it's just like, what a fucking lesson. What a gift. So I'm pumped. Pumped for fucking life. Now, do you remember? Because do you remember that the point?
Yeah, I can, and I can relate to everything you're sharing too, because obviously I went through a divorce as well, and we have such an incredible relationship now because of the growth, and I really cherish it. I can relate to how you're feeling and how you're navigating everything right now is exactly the same. Yep. Like, is this JC character the real deal?
Is
or is there other stuff? I had the exact same experience, bro, and I think. Just keep wrestling with it would be my advice to you. Like, since wrestle and like pray to, if Jesus is real, have him reveal himself to you. But just keep wrestling. That frustration, like you said, you're a truth seeker. Eventually you'll find the truth. And don't do it because everyone else is doing it. Have your own relationship. So I think what came up for me is like probably two things I like to talk about. One is like, you mentioned like religion, and so the difference between religion and relationship, and then also you kind of mentioned about the purpose, like why you're here is for God to. Can you what did you say it was? Because I've heard you talk about it before. To God to help you get the things.
What I believe the fundamental truth of life. Is that God wants to give you everything. Last words in your favor.
God wants to give you everything. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So the religion thing, that's the thing that always held me up too, because like you're going to tell me what's freaking right or wrong, and you're going to try and control my life. And
the set of rules.
I hate that, and I still hate it. I hate religion. This is the thing that the part of the thing that influenced me. I said to Steve, man, I love this stuff. I can see your heart, but I hate religion. He says, so do I. Yeah. He says it's not about a religion, it's about a relationship. And the difference is religion is something man created for what you have to do in order to be right with God.
Say that again, sorry?
The things you have to do in order to be right with God.
Okay.
Religion is man-made.
Right.
Versus, it says in the Bible that's by grace through faith that we have righteousness with God. You just have to believe and have faith and you're good. But relationship is where you're in a relationship with someone. And if you spend whoever you spend the most time with, you're going to become more like them.
For sure.
Because if I spend heaps of time with you, I'm going to observe your nature. I'm going to, I could see you, the greatest way to think about this is, like, I could see you on Instagram and I can be like, oh yeah, Luke believes in this. These are his values. He's got this car. He does a podcast. And I could know about you. But if I come and spend time with you in person, I'm going to understand, I'm going to get a feel for your heart and your nature, and I'm going to get to observe how you are with people. And whoever you spend the most time with, you start to become more like. And so relationship is going on this journey that you are now. You have this relationship with God where you're, hey, what about this? And you're wrestling and you're changing. But the more time you spend with him, the more you become like him. That's why it says in the Bible, like, you're predestined to be conformed to his image. And if God is love, then you start to spend more time with him. That's the heart transformation I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Religion is you could go to church your entire life and never change. It's like you could just because you walk into a car park, a car dealership every day, doesn't mean you're going to walk out a car.
Yes.
And a lot of people do that though. That's the Christians you describe of.
Yeah.
They say they know Jesus, but where's the fruit?
Yeah.
They're still sleeping with people behind the scenes. They're still going out and drinking. They're still lying. Like something happens, their life falls apart.
Yep.
That's religion versus relationship. The greatest way you actually know you follow Jesus is your life is a 360 or 180 degree difference than it was before knowing him.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
For sure, man.
So I think that would be, I just give the invitation to separate the two because religion really caught me up and I hate it still. It's not what I do.
Yeah. Just to quickly jump in there is that, you know, it's kind of like, using the typical people that go to church type example. You know, what inspires me to change is looking at someone who I want to be like and then going, well, who are they?
Yep.
And that's, for example, the general churchgoer doesn't inspire me.
Exactly.
You know? So, for example, the David Game guy, he's like, he inspires me. Yeah. So if I look at him, I'm like, yeah, I really like a lot of his values in life and stuff like that. And like, what's he doing? Like, well, it turns out that and from the outset of getting to know this guy, I didn't know he was like super into this stuff.
This is the Kabbalah stuff.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I understand.
You know what I mean? But then when you digging deeper, it turns out he runs courses and he's dedicated his life to a top thing and his whole fundamental, because he was just on you know, Level's house.
Yep.
He was on the School of Greatness and he was just talking about spirituality.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know, how to using spirituality to improve your business. So I was just like, kind of, that was the hook or the attraction. He didn't speak Kabbalah, didn't talk about Kabbalah. He's just like talking kind of stuff I was talking about there. And I'm like, I like this stuff. So yeah, the person, you know, me looking up to, I think what's going to lead me in life is that when I see people where I'm like, I really respect and value that. What are you doing? Who are you? If I guess there became more Christians who I had in my life, that, maybe will lead me down it, because so far the Christians that I see in my life, I don't really have much inspiration for. Does that make sense?
Same.
So do you remember your keep on going?
Going? No, so that, again, that's the whole reason I never wanted to be a Christian, because Christians for me were weak, boring and broke. No, legit. Yeah, for sure. And they were soft and they just embodied like peace and love, but they were not powerful or influential or strong or masculine. And that's why it took for me to be on this yacht and see someone like a Steve as an example, like you're talking about, an example of a real Christ-led man.
Right.
And so I understand what you're saying. That's really, really important, because if you don't have that example, you're like, why would I want to be a part of this group? And I was exactly the same.
Because kind of like, I feel like the churchgoer, anyone who converts into that is almost like a broken person.
Yep.
Does it make sense? It's almost like they're broken and they're fucking...
Yeah,
And I'm
exactly. And
I'm not broken, man.
No, I'm not a victim. I'm just like, that ain't me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like gym church has really taken off, because we embody the opposite of that. Like we have guys that are physically strong, successful, getting after life, but they want to, they're seeking fulfillment and deeper purpose. And we are emotionally open and transparent, and we talk about what's really going on, but we also hold each other accountable and lift each other up and encourage each other. Yeah. Which again is not the traditional. You go to church, it's like, oh yeah. No, again, not all church. Like I'm at church, and church is incredible, but the stereotypical church that we're talking about. Sure. Yeah. So the other thing I noticed just about God, like designed to give you your needs, not that I don't disagree with what we go through. Of course, is a opportunity for us to grow into more of who we are, which will then allow us to receive what God has for us anyway. I totally agree with that. But I'd say like the fundamental difference is, and this is something that I've really had a 360 turnaround in the last 6 to 12 months. Like it says in the Bible, love not your own life unto death, deny yourself, not to live for yourself. And there's even like a picture of Jesus and his disciples, and before he's going to go to be crucified, he washes their feet. And he said, let this be an example for you guys. Even I, like the Son of God, doesn't come to be served, but to serve. And so it's about being in service to others. And I know what you said was you have that experience with your wife, or the parking ticket is designed to shine a light on what you need to grow in. Mm-hmm. But what the Bible says is that those things, rather than shine a light on those things, is we're called to be the light in that situation. And so, like you mentioned, well, like with your ex, you said, if I had been a different space, it probably would have saved it. Yep. Like we're called to. It says in the Bible that we are called to be the light. Sure. And what does a light do? It sets up on a stand, and it brings light to the room. So you go through a challenging situation in your relationship, or you and I are business partners, something goes down. Yeah, that's going to cause us to grow, but we're called to shine in that situation and lead with love and be the leader in that situation. Does that make sense? Yeah. But also, when we go through hard times, like it says in the Bible, rejoice in our suffering, because suffering leads to endurance, endurance leads to character, and character leads to hope for other men and women. But the end result is growth, so you can serve and give to others, so you can shine. Yep. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man, absolutely.
And I think we're talking about the same thing, but just in it, rather than, because like I said, when I was saved, it was like, what's God going to do for me? And I'm praying, give me financial increase, like give me this, lead me to these opportunities. And God has continually punched me in the face to be like, how selfish and self-centered have I been that all I ever go to God for is what I can get for me, instead of how can God change me so I can pour into my family and you'll relate to this, be the husband that my wife needs and make her the priority and be there for my kids, instead of going out into business and all these things so I can grow and get more of what's for me. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's kind of like the fundamental thing is the growth within you is for the better of humanity type thing.
Yeah. Yeah. In essence, yeah.
Yeah, man, for sure. I like that. Yeah, it's good. You said some line before because you said the fucking, why don't they write the Bible so it makes sense? You said like a line before, and I'm like, what the fuck's that mean? I can't remember what you said there. I was going to say, what does that mean?
Please do. Yeah.
But as in, I can't remember what you said. You said a line before, and I was like, you said it, and I'm like, I was just like waiting for you to finish so I could say, can you explain what that fucking line means?
Yeah, please let me know if it comes up again.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. All right, well, mate, we're about an hour in.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, is there anything that we haven't touched? Let's talk about men for a second, yeah?
Yeah.
And you're serving to men and because with Gym Church. Can we talk a little bit more about that? Like, what's your mission behind all that?
Yeah, well, my vision is to redefine what it means to be a man, and my mission is to empower those men to become effective excellent Christ-led leaders that transform families, cultures, and communities. And when I say redefine what it means to be a man, is that like Jesus, the only Jesus that I know, and by the sound of it that you've known, is peace and love and compassion. But actually in the Bible, it's that dichotomy of the two. He was loving and extremely compassionate and patient. He literally gave his life on the cross for humanity, like laid down his life for other people. There's no greater expression of love than that. But at the same time, Jesus would flip tables and he was direct. What I heard here the other day, just because we don't trade in compassion for doesn't mean you compromise. And so it's like, it's about, like, as a man, we've been kind of taught that you just have to be this strong, masculine Andrew Tate, piece of shit man, or men are like women. And there's this vast thing in between. Either most men these days are men that are like women, and then there's the Andrew Tate side that are just like, I'm an insecure little bitch that's going around trying to pump my chest to make myself look awesome. But there's an in the middle where there's a time where I can be compassionate and I can love you and I can be there for you. But then there's also on the other side where I can freaking break through a building and rip through someone and achieve stuff and be fierce.
Sure.
So when I say redefining what it means to be a man, that's what it means to be a man. It's like, be the man the moment demands. And if you are fierce and strong, that doesn't mean that you don't have love in your heart. And if you love someone, that doesn't mean you're less of a man or less strong. We are called to be what is needed. And if we're if you're in a relationship and all you are is strong and masculine and achieving, that doesn't fit when you're in a relationship. But if you aren't able to be both, then that's where I feel like a lot of people fall short.
Yeah, I think it's a huge thing. Yeah, it's almost like us changing the world is that it's all got to do with what we're teaching our kids. Yeah, so. And then, like you said, it sounds like you didn't have the best role model as a dad, and your dad didn't have the best role model as a dad. You broke that fucking chain.
Yeah.
And then Archer. Archer's looking at you and learning how to be a man. Yeah. Looking everything that you're doing, and then you're fucking basically teaching him how he's going to show up. And then it completes, that changes the world. Yeah. So I think it's awesome what you're doing. And it's it's kind of similar to what I have also set out to do. I just want to create awesome men, awesome men who are fucking driven. They've got passion and love in their life. They do what they love. They follow their heart. They love. They give. They face their fears. They be them fucking self, and they be awesome role models for their kids. Yes. What do you reckon? Anything else?
No, I was just gonna. It's really interesting because like we've probably both been called on that journey of being able to become all of those things, and then naturally our own purpose becomes to help other people with that type of stuff. And the only thing that's really shifted for me is that the example is Jesus. That's it. What you're describing then is that, whether you put that label on it or not. Because that's the more we seek and more we change. Even this example of the Kabbalah and stuff, you're just seeking and adjusting and shifting, and it's just coming more towards what we're talking about. Whether, you know what I mean? That's where I feel like the whole world is orientating towards. Even before you knew the Kabbalah stuff, even just personal development. Right, you're healing parts of yourself. You're learning to love better and all of that stuff. That's the direction everyone is heading in. It's just everybody's journey's different.
It seems like there's a lot of people that are bringing God into their life and the shift with it, especially with Christians as well. Is that a case where you feel a lot of people are turning to God and Jesus and everything like that? 'Cause it seems to what I've experienced, because when we were in our 20s, being an atheist is almost like anyone who's religious, is almost like, you're fucking weird, you're so ignorant, weird. You're stupid. And that was like, I would say, living in Australia, the minority was following God for sure. Now I feel like things have shifted and are shifting a lot. Is that legit? Am I actually just imagining this? Or you being on the inside, are you noticing that there's more people becoming Christians?
No, it is. Well, when there's turmoil and uncertainty in the world, like we spoke about, people seek answers. And what we've seen happen through COVID and then like the Epstein files and everything that's going on, there's been all of a sudden all this darkness that people had conspiracy theories that were going on out in the world. Now it's like, no, it's legit. Yeah. And I think more and more people are like, wow, if there's darkness and the devil and all this bad stuff going on, there has to be light and God and something else. So before people could have their head in the sand, now it's like they don't have a choice. We're moving into this world that people can't understand or comprehend. So they're seeking. So yeah, to answer your question, absolutely, there's an increase for sure. And we touched on it briefly before, but I can see the direction that it's going in that as everybody's jobs are wiped out, their identity is lost. And so when we don't know who we are, we're asking that question, who am I? And so I really see that there's going to be a point in which where it's just going to be such a clear delineation. You either follow God and you go down that path and you have your identity firmly fixed in him, or you're just totally cooked and you just go down this other path and people are just lost and they just go into darkness. Yeah. And that's why, and this is probably, it's part of the spiritual stuff you hear, but it's this war between light and darkness and I can just see that the world's like there's an acceleration behind that. I'd love to know, what's your opinion on that?
What's the specific question?
Just in terms of like darkness in the world, good, evil, all of that type of stuff.
Is there an existence of that?
Yeah, is that something that you've thought about, or like what's your just opinion on that in general, especially just with what's going on in the world?
Yeah, man. Well,
today,
if you look at there's this book called the Kabbalion. It's not a derivative of Kabbalah, and have you heard of Kabbalion?
No.
It's the 7 laws of the universe, right? So, we've got laws of this world, which is law of gravity, for example. I have the pen, I drop it, fucking drops. Law of universe, there's like one of them, which is the law of manifestation, which we all fucking know about. And then one of them is the law of polarity, which everything that exists must have an equal opposite in order to create balance and equilibrium. So if there's light, there's got to be dark. So do I believe in darkness? There's darkness. Fuck yeah. Just exactly what you described with all the Epstein files and all that shit. Man, I love the conspiracy shit because I'm a truth seeker at the end of the day. All the shit that went on with COVID, that was a big motherfucker. Like I never got vaxxed or anything like that. That really opened my eyes. The first eye-opener for me of awareness of the truth of life and what really goes on was I used to trade shares and Forex and stuff like that. I was really active with it. And I was doing a course, and the person who ran it, we were looking at all the graphs of the S&P 500 and just the history of it, right? And the guy who was running it was basically just having a look at historical events and looking at how the market reacted. And then we're looking at September 11. And he basically said something about September 11 because at the moment because September 11 at the moment hadn't happened too long ago, and the belief was that a bunch of dudes from Afghanistan or whatever it was took over the plane and flew the fucking plane into the buildings, right? It was Osama bin Laden. Yeah. And he just said that, he goes, guys, don't you know the truth about that? And everyone's like, what? He goes, oh man, you've got to watch this video. And then he said this video, which was on YouTube, which was called, I can't remember what it was. But anyway, it was just this video where it was just talking about how the world works, how big businesses and they control the world and where all the money goes. And then they spoke about September 11 and the truth behind all that. And that opened my eyes, and I had the choice to go, this is bullshit, and believe the original narrative. But I was just kind of like, there was too many things about the September 11 attacks that didn't add up, which I don't know if you've looked into it.
No, I'm familiar with some of the things that people say, but I haven't deep dived.
So many fucking things
in that particular rabbit hole.
Yeah, there's so many things where it's like, okay, well, why would they take out, like there's another building that went down, that there's the 2 September 11, the World Trade Center went down, but there's another building that went down, do you know?
No.
The third building that actually fell down, which was around the corner, and insurance, like a $1 billion insurance was taken out a week before that building went down. There's all these like things like that, and no one even knows about that building that went down around the corner.
Yeah.
And it was like, how the fuck did that building go down? There's all these kind of things. So that was just one of the 20 things. It's been so long since I've watched it, so hard to kind of, really convince you on that whole story. But anyway, that was the first thing. I'm like, that doesn't seem right. And then from there, I just started questioning shit, And it was almost like if things happened, I just didn't just watch the news and go, there's a COVID outbreak. I looked in deeper, and I'm like, my heart knows, my intuition fucking knows. Call it God or whatever it is, but it just like I get this feeling like, is this bullshit or is this true? And if I get a glimpse of any bullshit, I look into it deeper. So the COVID thing, that really opened my fucking eyes. And being a person that experiences the shit that I experienced with not getting vaxxed, and what I experienced with calling for my murder, not being invited to family birthdays and stuff like that, that had a huge effect on me. And now I'm just hardcore on searching for the truth in life. So that's it. I'm just on this, like, I just want to know the truth. Whatever the truth is, I'm open to it. So wherever it leads me, I'm cool. And just bringing it back to our first conversation, which is in 3 months, you're going to get a different version of me because I'm all about growth and I'm all about truth. And if that's your, one of your missions in life, of course you're going to evolve. So
it's what you're a truth seeker, bro, and it's so funny because like at the end of the day, if you're a truth seeker, you're going to find what you're searching for, and it's a cool journey. So I'm excited to see what the next 6, 12, 18 months looks like for you. I see a lot of similarities in our story and just the way that you're seeing things and the way that I saw things. So I'm excited for you.
So
bro.
how long do you reckon I'm wearing a Jesus hat?
Man, to be honest, while you were talking, I just saw this like huge montage of like you speaking about different things over a period of time, and then all of a sudden you're on your knees at church and you've got your Jesus is King thing on. So you're documenting it. You're going to be able to see the transformation.
There you go, man. Mate, been awesome chat. Thanks for coming on. Where are we at? An hour and 10 minutes. So this was juicy, man. This is really good. Exactly what I wanted. So thank you for coming on for the third time. Do you want to quickly talk about Gym Church or talk about where people can find you, Insta, things like that?
Yeah, I know we didn't speak about that briefly, but yeah, in terms of Gym Church, just to explain it very, very quickly, is everything that we spoke about before, about not feeling like you would ever be comfortable to go to a church or it's not your place. That was where we were at, and we're like, it doesn't feel right going to a church. And we're like, well, we had a friend that was just working out, and afterwards he'd read the Bible and watch a sermon. And so we started getting together and just meeting. We'd do a workout, we'd read the Bible, we'd wrestle with all this stuff. Like what is, how do I read the Bible? How do I pray? Is Jesus real? We'd wrestle with these things. And I think it's really for anyone that wants to be in an environment with like-minded people, rather than like you said, the other successful men and women or people that are actually out there doing stuff, but that are seeking the truth at the same time. So that's kind of what we're doing at the moment. We've been primarily a men's brotherhood for the first year, but we did our first mix event on Valentine's Day. We had a couple of hundred people come through, which was phenomenal. So cool. And we're going to do the same in Sydney very soon. So if you're in Melbourne or Sydney, just reach out and we can plug you into that if you're curious. And then, you can check me out on Instagram and I'm sure you've got stuff underneath beside where people
just say it anyway, because this is for the audio version.
Yeah, at the Owen Hone on Instagram.
The Owen, Owenhone. That's it.
Boom.
That's it. Thanks, bro.